Today we're here to talk a little bit about our health and social services centers. We're here at Ruth Adams East Central Health and Social Service Center, serves much of the International District. So to kick us off today, we're going to hear from Mayor Keller.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks everybody. Well, it's special actually to be here at our Ruth Adams Health and Service Center up in the southeast of Albuquerque, of course in the heart of the International District. And these facilities, we have 4 of these throughout Albuquerque. And we really want to remind folks of all the services and different things that are available at these facilities, especially during these very tough times for different folks facing challenges in our community. And so we're going to walk through some of those. We're also going to hear a wonderful story from Mr. Eccles. So, but I also want to give thanks to the staff because I don't get to get out here all that often. So thank you, team behind. Let's give them a round of applause. Basically, here's what happens at these centers. Number 1, we have eviction prevention services. We have rental and utility assistance. We have food boxes. And we have a range of healthcare that are available for different folks with respect to our partners, especially around WIC and things like that. And you can even see right here, we're in the food pantry portion. And what you see is the shelves are stocked, which is excellent. And we cycle through this very, very fast. More than 19,000 food boxes were distributed and 1,700 food boxes distributed just this month. And we're already outpacing last year. Now, we particularly want to share this because we know, especially in the International District, we have challenges around poverty. We also have challenges around lack of a grocery store. We also know even the Albuquerque Indian Center is temporarily or maybe long-term closed. There's different service providers that are also coming in and out of this area. But one constant has been this facility and is this facility. So we want to remind folks that it's available for everyone in the neighborhood. And again, we have 3 others at the 3 other quadrants throughout the city. So this is really a lifeline for families. This is what these facilities are all about. And they are delivering on that and then some during these times for our city. So with more on this, let's hear from our director of the department that runs this, Health, Housing and Homelessness, and that's Gilbert Ramirez.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Gilbert Ramirez. I am the Director for Health, Housing, and Homelessness, and I have the honor and privilege of being the one who oversees these 4 sites as I came into this position. So just a little, again, reminder and background. We have one of these agencies in each quadrant of the city to make sure that we have community-based access to vital basic resources. And you know, when I came on board 8 years ago, it was a pleasure to kind of see the amount of work that was being turned out of here. But as a clinician, who's practiced in the International District area for over 20 years. I go back to referrals that I made for youth when I was at Highland High School and their families to this center for food. And as the mayor mentioned, these locations have been constant. Despite, you know, financing and other areas, it's been a constant for the community to be able to reach out and be able to have this resource. I myself grew up in a household that benefited from programs like this, and I can say that it can be hard sometimes as a family to ask for that help, to step forward and say, hey, we need a little extra something at home. And I want to just encourage the community that there is no reason for you not to take advantage of these services. They are there for you in times of hardship, for them to be able to make sure that you have a basic need met in your household. A basic need for all of us is housing stability, food security. Without those things, it's very hard to be able to move forward and do the things we do daily if those things aren't taken care of. You have to make hard decisions. Do I get a tank of gas or do I put food on my table? If I don't have gas, I don't get to work, I don't have a paycheck. So no one should have to go without or with little. And that's what these service centers do. We have a lot of partners here, thanks to Costco, who's always giving us their donations of extra food that we can give out. And we have everything from fresh produce to shelf-stable food. The other piece being the prevention. We saw when COVID hit how much eviction prevention resources were important for our community to have access to. And these sites also administer that. Roughly this year, over $700,000 in a combination of either eviction prevention and or utility assistance to make sure people, one, stay in their homes, and two, have the heat or their air conditioning they need to be able to have a comfortable home for themselves. So again, the mayor mentioned, January of 24, this particular site pushed out 567 food boxes just in January. This last January of 25, we've already hit 724. It just shows the need and the demand. This particular area is what we would call a food desert. With the closure of Walmart, the closure of Walgreens, the closure of the Fair and Square, these were vital places for individuals to get food and resources in this community, who now have to travel further, who have to travel outside of their community area to get the groceries and food that they need. And again, we're here to just reemphasize that during this time of uncertainty with federal funding, some of our organizations are a little worried about that, and we have no concrete information that says they will lose their funding. But folks might be worried about where can I have sustainable access to food and these type of services, and that's it. The last thing I want to highlight is that across the street you see a wonderful health clinic run by UNM Young Children's Health Center. That facility is actually the city's facility, and that's our tenant. We are proud to be able to be the landlords to vital organizations that provide resources back to the community. So we want to make sure that families have access to pediatric care, vaccines, mental health services, and we provide that at these sites. And oftentimes it goes unnoticed that, these are the direct services we provide, but we also leverage bringing in partners in our facilities to make sure that you have community access to that, so you don't have to go to a large hospital system, wait in line to try and get that appointment. So again, just want to highlight, Ruth Adams really is a gem site. It works on a very small staff that's located right behind you, and they do a phenomenal job daily of making sure that food continues to be available for those who need it most. With that, then, I want to pivot over to our site manager, Chris Burton, who does a phenomenal job of actually managing the work daily, and so I'll bring him up to kind of speak next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Gilbert, everybody. First of all, the mayor touched it a little. He based it this is possible because we enjoy what we do at Ruth Adams. We don't just come to work and just say, I'm here for 8 hours. When we come here, we enjoy helping everybody out in this community. When Mayan brought me over here from community centers, he told me something that stuck out in my mind. Is this job can be as busy as you want it to be, or it could be just a regular job if you want it to be. Every day when I come to work, it's all about hustle. And the hustle is not for me. The hustle is not for us. The hustle is for you. Look at our shelves. Look at our freezers. This is what we are here to do. So with that being said, we've built partnerships and friendships with clients. We build partnerships with organizations. And I'm going to throw a shout out to one of our biggest organizations, which is Costco Renaissance. This is really on them as well. You see behind you, you see our shelves. We don't make it. We pick it up. And that's because Costco is here to help everybody in the city. We help Bernalillo County residents. We help city residents. Because what we wear is one Albuquerque, not City of Albuquerque. And that is something we abide by. So remember that. Don't ever feel ashamed Don't ever say, oh, I've never done this. We didn't ask. What we're here to do is to have you one less worry on your mind and put food on your table or put a mattress on your bed or give a kid a bike, a kid a toy, and whatever we can do, we will do it. I promise you that. So I'm going to turn it, I'm not too much for talking too much. Well, just when I work. So, but I'm going to turn it over to one of our good clients. He's actually known as Mr. Eccles, but he's AKA Bike Guy. And this is one of the friendships that we've built that helps youth or adult get free bikes.
This isn't about me. The staff here is who I want to send great props out to. Chris, Vo, and Dana show up here every day, and they're always professional. They're glad to see people. They greet them with a big old smile. Yes. And I'm just so grateful to be able to come over here and get food. It's just a joy. My little deal doing bicycles is just a very small cog in the wheel, but gives me great joy to be able to give kids bicycles. Record day, one day gave away 56 bicycles to kids. And I just can't tell you how much joy that brings me. I'm very, very grateful to be able to do that. That's all I brought.
All right, thank you. Well, thanks so much, and I know there are so many kids who will never forget getting that bicycle, so we really appreciate it. And I think we're certainly happy to take questions. We also wanted to let folks, if they want to come back and get some footage of the kitchen and things like this, they're welcome to. And also appreciate Gilbert's recognition of the place across the street. That's where I went for pediatrics, and it's available to everyone. So one of the great things that I just want to reiterate is we don't ask questions at these facilities. We don't ask questions about your background or where you came from or even where you live. They're just here to help, and that's an amazing thing for this community. All right, so Connor, anything else you want to go over?
Nick, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, so question, you mentioned that this year you guys have been distributing more food and more rent assistance. Why do we think that this year alone there's been an increase in the need in the community?
Well, Gilbert can maybe talk a little bit more about this, but what we've seen is a steady increase. So it hasn't been, all at once. So since those closures, we have seen a steady increase and more people coming to our doors. And I know these guys, they help out people who are getting food boxes, who are unsheltered. They help families. They help anyone who walks to that door to get a food box. They are willing to help. And so that's kind of where we've seen the increase. Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Without a doubt, inflation has hit all of us post-COVID, right? Things cost more. Food costs more. I just had to buy a bunch of eggs. You probably saw what the translation of that is now, per dozen and or crate. We, I think, are on a trend with combination of some of the major food grocery stores in the area closing, as well as the increase of costs in which people are having to make hard decisions on where they put their money. And when you have to make a hard decision like that, I think you're going to look for resources that are vital for you and be able to access those. And so we continue to monitor our data because we need to know ahead of time how much money to allocate for each individual site. Our West Side facility used to be number one in food distribution because the need was so high out there. And now what we've seen trending this year, it's our East Central location that has actually surpassed our West Side location. So they're neck and neck, and I think that speaks regionally to the specific areas. If we were to look at, income levels for the area, affordable housing to the area, and folks who are needing those resources. And I do want to highlight one more thing that the mayor noted. During this time, and it's very near and dear to me, there might be concerns for folks who may have to disclose residency status, citizenship status. This is not a question we ask here, nor will it, make you ineligible to receive the services. We serve our community. Everyone is welcome, and I want to reemphasize that message that this is an important place for our entire community for them to get that resource.
Can you just clarify, can anybody come here and ask for help, or is it only for people who live in the international district?
Great question. Typically, what we would do is base it on your living location, right? So if you are in this area and in this zip code area, that's why we have 4. We try to cover every quadrant, whether it's northeast, southwest, etc. But what I would say is, should you need this resource and not know what center to go to, just call 311. Let them know your address and location. They will find the site that's closest to you, for one. We don't want you to have to travel across town and carry a heavy food box. And they will get you connected to the appropriate site for you to be able to access the same resource despite the location. Good question, thank you.
Nick, did you have? Okay, perfect. All right, so
Thanks,
there's
guys.
lots of video opportunities. Feel free to go into the pantry over here, the freezer. Happy to help you with any shots if you want any of the freezer doors open or anything like that. So thank you again for coming.
Extra cookies behind you.
Oh, yeah.